フィリーズの地区シリーズ第4戦を劇的サヨナラで勝利したドジャース。日本時間10月11日、各米メディアが前日の熱戦について、そして佐々木朗希投手が MVP を取る可能性についても言及しました。FOX スポーツではドジャースの強さの秘訣について語る場面も。ここからはその様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
Trey, there's so many things that go through your mind when you watch that last play from Orion Kerkering. Obviously, you know, a little panic at the end there. It was a tough way to end a series from a guy who was a good fielder, played that position. Tell me through the play and what happened there.
Well, you're so focused and hyper locked in of getting the batter out, you didn't realize that you still have to field your position and play clean baseball. All of a sudden, the ball's off the bat, and he gets short hop, and he gets called. Right when that ball hits that ground, a shot of adrenaline goes in you. And all you're thinking about now is picking up that ball and getting rid of it. He didn't know where he was on the field, so all of a sudden his head comes up, so he's not seeing JT Realmuto screaming and not hearing go to one. Yes, everyone talks about he had enough time, but you're not thinking about that, and you're not hearing that. All you're hearing is the roar of the stadium because they all realize, oh no, he's fumbling the baseball. Once his head came up, he tried to make a quick throw, got on side of the baseball, and that ball was 2 feet past JT Realmuto before he put his head down because he realized at the release point, that ball wasn't going to make it. Game over, season over, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, like, he panicked, right? You know, you hit him that ball 100 times, 99 times he picks it up and throws it to first base. Just, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of adrenaline. You feel bad because, you know, a lot of people will blame him for that series. That's not the case. That's not fair. That's not the reason why they lost. But when you see in these postseason games, teams that make mistakes, the good teams capitalize on them.
Yeah, and the Dodgers always capitalize. They seem to be the team that never makes mistakes. And by the way, it was really classy afterward of the players and Rob Thompson kind of embracing Orion there and being like, hey, it's not you. Like, I thought that was awesome. But let's talk about these Dodgers. I want to piggyback off of what Derek said. They seem to make all the plays. Right? I mean, they seem to make the key defensive plays, take that extra base all the time. Well, how do they keep doing it?
The Dodgers are back being the LA Dodgers, simply the best team in baseball. And look, they're the opposite of a one-trick pony, right? They can beat you any way you want. They can slug Poppy, they can pitch, they can defend, they can clutch hit. And one thing they never, ever, ever do is beat themselves. They never beat themselves. Look, Philly imploded and the Yankees imploded by making not making the plays. That's something they never do. And for all those home run lovers out there and home run chasers, they beat the Phillies with only hitting 2 home runs in 4 games, and they're moving on.
The Dodgers is an organization that they get prepared for this type of situation. If you look all the way through their lineup, their pitching staff, even their coaching staff, they get prepared for this situation. That's why they are so hard to beat. And then think about this. Offensively, their monster, Ohtani, he's sleeping. He haven't wake up yet, and they are whooping everybody. When this guy get hot, people don't try that at home.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
You know, this was a battle of the Titans, right? You almost feel like you got robbed because that, 5-game, best of 5, they're both so good. I know the Dodgers train are the defending champs, but is there a little bit of, okay, we took care of maybe the second best team. Is there a little bit of you got to be careful not to let down?
No, that's why they're well coached and they're well managed. Experience. That's like you guys were in the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. They're not going to sleep. They're not going to make a mistake. They're going to continue to stay hungry. They want to repeat. And now there's scary hours. Freddie didn't check in and Shohei didn't check in, and they got past the Phillies. Now their rotation is healthy. Their rotation was not healthy, and they won a World Series last year. They understand that they're the weapons, and any road has to come through Chavez Ravine. And so I think getting over this helps, but at the same time, they're still hungry in that locker room.
Just the second postseason series to end on an error. Just as a human being, I think you feel badly for Orion Kerkering. And I thought Rob Thompson showed a lot of leadership, getting to him immediately after the game. I can't imagine what he must have felt like, but I do know it takes a lot of you-know-what to stand up and answer those questions right afterwards and talk to the media. So, we wish him best. We wish him the best moving forward.
Yeah, I always go back to I have Theodore Roosevelt's Man in the Arena. It was always in a frame in my locker because those cold and timid souls that'll never be in that moment to understand what Kerkering was feeling. I've been there. Game 1 of 2008 playoffs against the Dodgers, I hit a backside homer. I'll never forget it. I get in a car with my dad, leaving the parking lot. Game 1, I felt like King Kong, like I could do no wrong. Game 2, I make a huge error early in the game. Russell Martin hits a double down the left field line off Carlos Zambrano. I'm watching everyone run around the bases thinking, wow, in a matter of 24 hours, you go from like top of the world to like, now you want to dig a hole and climb in it. So I've been in these moments. And you hear Derek Jeter, I go back to it time and time again, because during stretch in 2009, during Team USA, I made it a point to be next to him and ask him a bunch of questions. And I always asked him, why do you always come through in the playoffs? And he goes, because I let everyone else panic around me, and I treat it like a spring training game. The prepared, the game moves slow to. The unprepared, the game gets quick. And in those moments, with 45,000 people and the stadium's pulsating and you can't hear yourself think and you want to get caught up in it, you have to just go back to the fundamentals you were taught in Little League. They end up winning the day, and we see it time and time again, games being won or lost based off basic fundamental baseball that should be like locked in. Like, I thought it was hilarious when they ran the wheel play the other day in Philadelphia, and Max Muncy and Mookie Betts said they hadn't practiced that play. That's not something they've done in 4 years. Well, why? My 15U team's doing that every Tuesday night. Like, that's part of the game, because in the playoffs, that's how you score runs. You're waiting around for the 3-run homer. You have to try and manufacture something. You better be fundamentally sound. So I want to go into a couple ABs, and then I want to get into the PFPs. All right? I want to start with Alex Call. We had Alex Call on this show. He was with the Washington Nationals and came on this show at the beginning of the year and said he grew up watching the show, and he was an awesome interview. And you're saying to yourself, the Dodgers get him late in the season, and he's having a dramatic at-bat against Christopher Sanchez right here. Why is he getting this at-bat? Which, by the way, that's strike 3. You never know when it's going to happen, but that ended up being a huge moment in the game. But I want to give love. Pause this. Bring up the chase percentage board. Because when you dive in on the numbers, right, why is he getting that at bat? Right on left, can steal a bag, can do different things. How does he add value to this Dodgers roster? He's got some good eyeballs on him, obviously, right? Didn't come outside the box. The moment wasn't too big. 3-2 pitch that he probably should have punched out on. He's willing to fight another day. He takes it, gets a call, and works a walk. So I just love that AB right there for Alex Call. And then talk about, Lauren asked the question, would you have walked Ohtani? Absolutely. Pause this real quick. I know he's 1 for 18, but the matchup presents for him to go after Mookie Betts. I always liked it as a defender playing in the infield, force out at any bag. I think it took everyone's thought process out the window. You know you could go anywhere with the ball. There are some managers who do not like to load the bases. They feel it puts pressure on their pitcher. I disagree with that. You should be able to command it on the mound. Maybe some pitchers will refute that. I want to give love to Mookie Betts because we talk about the moment being too big. He goes back to his fundamentals of bearing down and getting Johan Duran in the strike zone. So run this. We're getting 98 splits, 99 splits to get us 2-0. Then he blows a fastball right by him. So Mookie's saying to himself in that moment, his heater's big. 3-1 count right here. I got to shorten up. Pause this. 2-0, he blew a heater by him in a heater count. 3-1, he beat him to the spot on a heater. So obviously this guy's fastball, we know it. It's exploding. Mookie's got to shorten up, 3-2, bases loaded. He's got a 99-mile-an-hour split to contend with and a 101 at the top of the zone, and he wants to be a hero. In this moment, everyone's going to swing. And he takes this high heater and walks to first and ties the game. Just, it screams to his plate discipline, screams to him having been in that moment time and time again and not making it any bigger. Okay, let's get into two teaching PFP moments here. Emmett Sheehan. It's a tough play. The 3-6-1 double play. Freddie does a fantastic job. Freddie's a fantastic defender. And Emmett just drops the ball, but he drops the ball because he hesitates getting off the bag and over to first base. And if you could get over to first base, find the bag, and then turn, you'll see it right here. Hesitates just a smidge getting over there, and now he's trying to find the bag at the same time, Mookie Betts, as opposed to, this is Brandon, let me clear my sprout, Robert.
Thank you.
Watch him take off. Soon as this ball's to the right side, there's no hesitation. To first base, gets there, turns around, boom, play's executed. Tough play, though. Okay, again, another PFP. And we're not going to kill Orion Kerkering for this because, like I said, being in that moment, as soon as he bobbles this ball, he blacks out. Because you see JT in that moment stay calm and cool as a cucumber and just come out and tell him, first base, first base. But these are the situations, right? If you're Orion Kerkering, if you're ever in this spot again or any pitcher moving forward, you take a look and you take stock of what the game is showing you. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Ball hit back to me, take my time, and go to first base. When in doubt, bases loaded, take my time, and go to first base. It's about controlling the motions and being prepared so the game moves a little bit slower. The Dodgers do it better than anyone. They're always here. They never make the big mistake to cost them.
Congratulations to them. Phillies were a 96-win team, and the Dodgers really stifled them in all but one game.
I've been told for decades by the old school, the game is played by human beings, BK. So how come I'm one of the few people to rail against intentionally walking anyone if it means loading the bases? Why? Because the game is actually played by human beings. Loading the bases changes the equation for everyone. Now, in a wider sense, Shohei Ohtani is the best hitter in the league, right? But this week, is he? Really? In a small sample, but this is what we're dealing with right now. You have to stay fluid. Ohtani is cold. He's 4 for 26, 11 strikeouts. I mean, he's not making it happen in the playoffs. And by the way, I'm including the wild card round against the Reds, where Ohtani hit 2 home runs in the first game. Certainly, Ohtani at any moment can break out. We know that. But Mookie Betts is no chump. Even when he was struggling, he did not have a good year. He's still Mookie Betts. He slugged .557 in September, and he's slugging .600 in the playoffs right now. He is red hot in this postseason. Walking Ohtani for this guy, this Hall of Famer, and then Freddie Freeman on deck, that's flat out a bad call. And I want to say, you guys are the ball players. Are you watching the at-bats? Case, are you watching the at-bats? Are they watching the at-bats? I'm watching the at-bats. Steve Phillips is watching the at-bats. I'm watching the at-bats. You're walking him to get to him. Loading the bases to face a better hitter as of that moment. Now, that's how Play played it, leaving Duran with no room for error. He got behind 2-0. Airflow changes, then 3-1. Too much pressure, even for an elite pitcher who had never walked a man with the bases loaded. You'd never done that. But Betts has excellent plate discipline. It all plays a part. Tied up the game, loaded the bases to set it up. That's what set it up. You purposely loaded the bases. Now, the Phillies then made what I thought was a good call, going for Jesus Luzardo in the 10th inning. He was scheduled to be the Game 5 starter, but the Phillies know if they lose, there is no Game 5. So that's the right move. If you think Luzardo is superior to your relief options, what I don't get is then taking him out after just 30 pitches and 5 outs. He's a starter. He did give up 2 hits, but he's built for more work, and you believed in him to get there. Okay. So from there, again, a 1-1 ball game because of the intentional walk, and then the walk to force in the run. We know what happened, right? At the very end. There's a reason when we do our baseball-y plays every single day on the show, we don't just show errors. Guys make bad plays. They botch plays. It happens. As I said just yesterday, Brooks Robinson made errors. Everyone does. I'm glad to see the Phillies and Rob Thompson show understanding for a guy who made a bad play at the worst time. But that play that ended the game was about awareness, knowing the situation, and execution. Orion Kerkering had the bases loaded. He has a force everywhere. He had to know that. He walked the bases loaded. Bill Ripken always says his dad told him, you can drop it once, there's time. Players drilled in that, no. He had to play it first. JT Realmuto calmly pointing to first base. Watch him here. Say, go to first, right there. And look, he just panicked. No one wants the game to end that way. Everyone involved showed decency in going to console Kerkering. It's right. Rob Thompson got him right away. but awareness and execution matter. It ends in 11, and the battle of behemoths ends with a stunner. Again, this was fun. I hate to see it end. Dodgers, Phillies, big city, big boy baseball. Managerial check time. Now that we've loaded Rob Thompson, let's put him in the crosshairs case. I floated the numbers out there. I'm saying second and third, Ohtani. I'm not saying he's ice cold, he'll never hit again, but to walk him to get to Betts to me and then force the bases loaded on a guy that he's a human being, he feels airflow, and sure enough, Betts waits him out, draws the walk, ties the game. It's a huge mistake, I thought.
Nah, I disagree. In the moment, I thought the same thing. Put Ohtani on. I don't care if he's 4 for 26.
Have you seen Betts in September slugging 550?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Slugging 600 in the playoffs.
I know, but you have Duran. The reason you went and got this guy, he's one of the greatest.
And how did it work out for you?
Hey, it didn't work out. That's part of the game.
You don't load the bases, and then the guy won't have an airflow situation.
Totally disagree. Listen, Ohtani's still one of the best hitters in the game, MVP of the league. When you come up with second and third, your adrenaline's a little different. You don't think he's going to get hot at some point?
Oh, yeah, at some point he's not cold forever.
You don't think, I mean, the chance of it going, him going big fly 3-1, double into the corner, 2-1. I'd rather load the bases. I got to force out everywhere. I got Duran, one of the best closers in the game.
Betts and Freeman are waiting. Not talking about Schultz.
Let's get it on, man.
Get it on.
Hey, let's find out.
Let's get it on. Let's find out with Ohtani.
Why do you think
Ohtani's one for whatever?
Dombrowski went and got Duran for a situation just like this?
Yeah, to face Ohtani. Why don't you pitch to him?
No, to face the
next guy.
No, to have
you didn't get Duran to say, hey, let me walk a guy and then face the next guy.
No, because you got the righty-righty matchup. I know Betts is one of the best in the game, but at the end of the day, Duran doesn't walk guys, and he did right there. But I'm saying, hey, listen, 2020 hindsight, it's a great conversation. At the end of the
not
day,
2020. At the time, I'm big on this all the time. Even my producer's like, we know you hate to walk the bases loaded. Look, he doesn't walk guys.
Exactly.
Again, I'm adhering to when the bases loaded, you put a guy in a tough spot. Do you have to do it? Now, if you have a great hitter and then a weak hitter, think about it. I still don't like walking the bases loaded, but you have a great hitter who's a little cold.
Yep.
You have to admit that. And a great hitter who's a little hot. I want no part of that.
Yeah, I disagree. And you have one of the best pitchers in the game. Great pitching always beats great hitting. If he executes, I think it's a different conversation.
So I think you're both right, you're both wrong. I think that it comes down to this is what the Dodgers built was star after star after star, where there's a justification in my mind for walking Ohtani. There's a justification.
I've never liked it. By the way, even the regular season, I don't like saying you're walking Ohtani to get to Betts and Freeman
and
waiting.
Loading the bases and pitching the dirt. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, but you got a guy who doesn't do a lot wrong. He doesn't walk anybody. And so I understand the reason why Rob Thompson chose to walk with the MVP of the league, even though he's not hitting right now. I understand why he did it. But I can also understand why you don't like doing it, because you load the bases, there's no margin for error, and you've got Mookie Betts, who's a great hitter, and he's hot right now. So here's the thing. He had to pick his poison.
All right, what would you do?
I would have walked Ohtani.
You would have?
I would have walked Ohtani.
Great job, Steve.
I would have walked. But I understand your point.
I hate saying it. How did it work out? Like, you put the guy under such pressure, even a guy who has never done it before in his life, well, he just did it. Also, Betts' plate discipline is state of the art. And he's a contact. He's got everything going on for him, whether he's Babe Ruth or not, or hot. Like, he's the wrong guy to deal with the bases
loaded. You got
loaded.
one of the best pressure pitchers on the mound. That's why you got this guy. You expect him to do it.
If he's that good, then face Ohtani. Then face Ohtani.
Okay, and Ohtani's speed. What if Ohtani hits a chopper into the hole and there's got to be a play? He's safe. You know what I mean? Like, now you got the bases loaded.
Betts can't do that. Guy's a series changer and possibly an entire playoff changer.
I think this guy's the MVP right now. They did not expect to have Sasaki in this role. I think when he came back from the IL, they didn't know what they were going to get. I mean, look how good he's been. 7 in the third, 9 punches, no walks, filling up the strike zone. Before he got here, he couldn't throw a strike. He was all over the place. Now he's all reliable. I actually think if he can't navigate 3 innings yesterday, we're going to Game 5 in Philly.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. Oh, this is what they expected. By the way, Roki Sasaki, we lost sight of this. We have very short memories. We'll talk about short memories later. We have very short memories. This was the #1 free agent on the market, international or domestic, Steve, and now we see why.
Absolutely. I mean, this stuff is electric. Now, his fastball's playing up because he's coming out of the bullpen. Remember, that was the big thing. His velocity had fallen off in Japan. He wanted people to help him with it. It's playing up because he's just airing it out right now. But remember, go back to one of the games in the series. It was a save situation, and Blake Trinan came in the game in a 3-run game, and then Sasaki had to come in. And at the time, Dave Roberts said, I hadn't ever used him in 2 out of 3 days. I'm like, forget it. I mean, use him now and see if it works. Now he's going 3 innings. He's a multiple inning closer right now. As long as you can work the off days around it, he is. It went from the Dodgers having a bad bullpen to, like, I'm thinking, I kind of like their bullpen right now.
Well, you know what it is? And this is kind of the overall theme of where I'm saying, and I don't believe in, like, oh, Ohtani's cold, he's going to stay cold forever. Betts is hot, he's going to stay hot forever. It's kind of anti-analytic. However, how is the guy pitching or hitting right now? And it made me think, like, how is Sasaki looking now? He's lights out. It's like K-Rod, right, when he came up. It's like Tim Lincecum when suddenly he came in garbage time for Bruce Bochy, and it was like, suddenly it was like, oh, we need 2 1/3, go to Lincecum, and suddenly he was a super weapon. Like, you find guys that are in, for whatever reason, Case, right, in the flow at this moment, you go to it.
You go to him, yeah, and he's that guy right now. I mean, Dave Roberts is looking at situations going, Sasaki time.
Yeah.
So get him in here because he's going to shut this down.
Roki Sasaki, 3 scoreless innings.
You talk about a weapon all of a sudden that Dave Roberts has. You know, struggled during the year, went on the IL, came back, put him in the bullpen not that long ago. He's only had 7 in the 3rd innings, but no runs since he's come off the IL. I mean, this guy has been flat out nasty. And this is, you know, early on when he was getting going early near March 29th. Remember this started? I mean, I think he was, you know, even choked up after the game that he just couldn't find the strike zone. His mechanics were off. He couldn't really figure out what he was doing. I mean, I think that was the biggest thing with Sasaki. And then all of a sudden, how about today? I mean, he was filling up the zone 100 miles an hour, 99, just all, you know, was just challenging guys with his stuff in the zone. And, you know, when you talk about a weapon, I mean, since he's come back from the IL, 7 in the 3rd innings, only 2 hits with 9 punchies. This is now the guy that has really solidified that bullpen that has been scuffling here in the second half.
It sounds crazy, but he could be their most valuable player. And the reason I say that is because, you know, this is a guy that's been through so much throughout the year, but now he's a different pitcher. And he's a guy that Dave Roberts has right now that can go multiple innings. Like, he's not just the whatever you want to call him as a closer. No, he could be a bridge guy. He could be the 7th inning guy, 8th inning guy, 9th inning guy. His stuff has been unbelievable. He's throwing more splitters now than he did when he first started, where he was throwing more fastball usage. Now he's got that nasty splitter. He's got that good curveball. He's got that good fastball. And, you know, one thing I see from him on the mound, he knows he's better than you. Right? I didn't see that earlier in his career when he started with the Dodgers earlier in the month, in April and May. I didn't see that confidence. Right now, he gets the ball, he's like, whatever it is, I'm just better than you.
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。